Hello, guys.
We are
The
Migas.
and
we're back.
welcome back
Season 4.
for 2024.
Yes.
I had to do it that way because I think we did season 3 of 2023. So
There
if
we
you
go.
caught that, but now I just caught you up on it. Oh,
Thank you.
I told you.
I told you,
what
I
I was
told
trying to
you.
do.
But hi guys.
Hello.
How is everybody's holiday
Season.
season?
Right? Like,
Well, how was
how
everybody's
was?
holiday
I feel like it's still a
no.
little.
No.
I still feel a little. I'm
No,
sorry,
I
you
took
don't.
all my crap down. I was
Well,
like,
no, not even
bye.
that. I'm just saying, like, there's still, and I don't know. I feel like there's forever gatherings in my life, so I just feel like it's the fucking holiday season all year long, minus the decor. Deadass.
But yeah, we are back for another season of this amazing podcast. If we do say so ourselves.
I just say so.
I do
I
say so.
agree.
I agree. And yeah, like let's get cracking.
Let's get cracking.
Let's get in it. Let's get into it. What is the matcha tea?
The matcha tea is that I don't get my matcha anymore from where I used to get my matcha. So that is the main matcha,
Mm-hmm.
the Migas matcha.
Migas matcha.
We need something that says matcha tea.
In green.
Yes,
Cool.
I like that. But yeah, that I'm gonna ask you. I'll let you go first. You like that.
Like what? What is it?
We can start from. Well, I mean, we left you guys off at the women's retreat and how that went.
Yes.
So we can discuss. I can't really remember between women's retreat and like Thanksgiving in my brain. Anything that really stood out, right? But Thanksgiving, I guess maybe Thanksgiving prep.
Yeah.
At least for sure for me, because it was my first time hosting ever Thanksgiving.
Boy.
So I was like, I took all the time to fucking prep. So I think that's what I did between women's retreat.
Yeah.
And
prepped every day.
How was yours, Thanksgiving?
It was good. I prepped too and then had it here. My parents came, my sister's boyfriends. That's it. It was very small. But my sister's boyfriend made the turkey because I'm not doing that. And I did all the sides and dessert and all that stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was low key.
What kind of sides?
Oh my god,
I'm hungry as hell, so I want to talk about.
I think I made like mashed potatoes. I did like a pasta
side. Do you make your mashed potatoes from scratch?
From scratch, girl.
Or the box?
No, from scratch. I peel and everything. No, we don't do that box shit here.
I have to talk about the box really quick because years ago, and I'm gonna shout him out. I won't say his name. I remember, like, that was one of the things that we put them in charge of. This was my brother-in-law. And I'm like, why do the potatoes look like this? Like, because they do look different.
Yeah.
And I think I probably definitely had boxed mashed potatoes in my time in the military. I highly doubt they were sitting there peeling fresh potatoes for thousands of freaking troops. But yeah, we're all like, yeah, no, don't do that. Like, take the potato, you peel it, or you
peel the potatoes.
Yes. So that's what
I do. Okay.
We are not boxed mashed potatoes.
No, we are not boxed mashed potatoes at all. So there was that, and then I did a pasta dish, and then I made. My sister wanted the cheesy noodles with the broccoli, so I made that too because that's what she wanted.
Cheesy noodles?
Yeah, they're like cheesy pasta noodles,
and
then it has broccoli, and then I always add more broccoli.
So it's already like comes like that.
Yeah, that's boxed, girl.
No, well, I don't assume it's pasta.
That's boxed,
but cheesy pasta.
Yeah, it's like mac and cheese, but like adult mac and cheese.
Okay, no, but I'm saying like you have to actually then add the powder to it. I'm here in my brain thinking that the pasta already had the cheese.
Oh no! You add the powder to it and butter.
Gotcha.
And all that stuff. Yeah, I mean you can spruce it up as much as you want, but so there's that. And then oh my god, I'm trying to think of what I made. My mom was like, "Can you please make your shrimp fajitas?" So I made that. And she's fun. And then I made my rice with corn. And then a kale and Brussels sprout salad with poppy seed dressing. It's really good. And then a few other things. Like I literally was just like every edge of the kitchen. I was like that. And then it happened to me again for Christmas Eve, and I threw out my back. So there's that.
We're moving around, trying to move around
Yeah.
too fast.
Yep. How about you? How about you?
For Thanksgiving, I hosted. I made my first also so first time hosting Thanksgiving, first time making the freaking turkey. I was super nervous, but I had confidence, and thank God for the not TikTok, Instagram chefs that put out all their grandmas, because I was even telling Coleman, I was like, some of these grandmas are probably turning in their freaking graves because we're just a generation of share all the secrets, share all the ingredients. Mm-hmm. And this girl literally shares like her nitty gritty Dominican cooking secrets. And so I use her recipe to do the turkey. And she has you marinating the turkey for I think like 2 to 3 days. I think I did mine for 3 days and did it in that whole oven bag, which I was also very like, what the fuck? I'm putting plastic. I think it's plastic or whatever material it is in the oven. I don't think it's fully plastic because no fucking way. Yeah. No way. And yeah, it fucking worked out. And it came out because I was like, obviously, because the biggest thing with people is the dryness of a turkey. But she literally, it's like literally like a penne, like a pork shoulder recipe, and that's exactly what it tasted like. But you can still tell it was like turkey, but it was really good. And the fact that Kelvin complimented on it, because whenever he does, I'm like, okay, my shit good. Because you know, he's very honest with his feedback, and I appreciate it, especially when it comes to food, because like, okay, I need to improve on this. Because too, that recipe didn't call for me to add salt because of all the stuff that was already in the sofrito that I also got from her. I did like her garlic paste from like scratch. I did everything. The only thing is, I think with her, she uses like adobo or like those orange like sazon packets, which I like. My mom taught me to cook without that stuff, so I never had that. And I was like, I'm gonna wing it without it. I'm just add like all the other fresh like I think it was like the oregano powder, and I forgot what other powders I added. But that's one thing I actually want to do this year is make my own sofrito sazon like powder. Because I was like looking at, obviously now you can Google everything or find it on TikTok or Instagram. So to make that powder from scratch, because then I think a lot of them have all these preservatives, additives. So I'm gonna try to make that from scratch and use that and see if I actually like need it. Yeah, in my cooking.
There's a Spanish Luisa.
Yeah.
She makes like a
healthy version. Yeah, I've seen that too. So I was just like, I'll see how mine comes out, and then I'll try hers. Nice. But yeah, and then I cooked a bunch of freaking stuff. I was proud of myself because like I feel like Thanksgiving, especially like obviously dinner's a certain time, you're hosting, like the kitchen needs a schedule. The oven, the stovetop, it's like prime real estate. You need to make sure and schedule everything. So I'm proud of myself for keeping up with all of that. I think I did a lot of obviously prepping before, like the day I think I made maybe like the mac and cheese. I was like, I don't know if I can make this like a day before and how it's gonna look. And especially like putting in the oven and having to reheat it. I didn't want to go through that process, and I really didn't like set myself up with the sternals things. Which next year, if I host any other big family dinner like that, I definitely want to put out the ones that I have and invest in more of them, because I think it'll just, because that was another thing too. I didn't feel like the food was warm enough when it was put out, but everybody else said it was fine. But I was just like, nah, like you want it to be warm.
Yeah. And you have like that massive island, so you can.
I know, so I didn't really plan out logistically the layout of everything. I had all the prepping beforehand, but when it came down to actually making sure that stuff was the right temperature when it came time to serve, yeah. So again, taking little notes, for next time. But yeah, this is why, and I was like, I remembered our Thanksgiving tradition that we started was the going away. I was like, yeah, we gotta go away. But we may actually plan to go away for next Christmas, but something local. We'll see. But I think I may convince them to do it for Thanksgiving instead, because the way that Christmas lands this year, Christmas Eve is on a Tuesday. And obviously, like a lot of my family members, they work pretty much 24/7, so it's not like they get those days off. Yeah. So I was like, I think we may switch it for Thanksgiving. Obviously, you always get that 4-day weekend, right? Yeah. But yeah, as far as like holiday things, anything that you did different this year, anything that you couldn't do that you wanted to do, especially with the kids? Like, did they have anything like with school?
They had a like winter event. Like they had like the PTO did like an ornament that they got from someone, and then like they got to like craft it or something.
That's
Like they put this
cute.
whole kit, and then they had what else did they do? They did like their parties at school, which was fun. So that was like easy for me. I'm like, good. I get
Right,
to
like
do all that.
let
And
them.
then Alina's center actually had somebody dress up as Santa, and they took pictures there. So
That's
that was
nice.
nice. I was like, oh, okay, there's that. But honestly, I just was not in the spirit or the mood, and I didn't want to do anything. So I just kind of like did as much as I could with just how I was feeling. You know, praying next year is a little better, but yeah, I was not in the mood. I didn't want to do anything. I know it's like a magical time for the kids, so I tried to show up as much as I can and
Right.
do what I could. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I could do. But how about you?
No, that's definitely rough. Well, one thing I guess that we did do together, even though it was, and that's I guess what's cool about like still being in the season. Like even now, I know people are still like doing like even like Friendsgiving or I'm gonna call it Friendmas
Yeah.
because we're kind of way out of the Thanksgiving season. But how we attended that Friendsgiving,
Yes.
and I thought that was so nice because yes, it was in December, but it was still and again, it's just I feel like any meal could be Thanksgiving or
Yeah.
Friendsgiving when you really think about it. Obviously the point of Thanksgiving is having a whole spread and all that stuff, but you can do that anytime. It doesn't you don't need to wait to the end of the year. But it was nice that we were able to attend that together, and like as we were doing our vlogmas, which I feel like we're pretty successful at doing and showing up most of the days. I know I took one day off for sure that I was just mentally just not there at all, and it was literally I think it was actually that was supposed to be my last day doing vlogmas, and I didn't show up. So cut y'all off on the vlogmas real short. um Other than that, with Caleb, he had a bunch of his things. If you guys follow me on my personal page, you saw that I posted like honestly my favorite thing ever. And I said it, I was like, I'm not gonna go see not one goddamn Christmas show or Broadway Christmas thing. I don't need to do that as long as Caleb still wants to participate and as long as he's still at that school, their Christmas pageant. Like they put it on. And I was like, this school can continue taking all my money because they're clearly doing something right. And again, mind you, this age group was 2.5 to 5 years old. And the production that was put on, and mind you, the fact that it was just like there was part one, and then they still had a second part. And this shit was during prime fucking nap time.
Yeah.
The show was from 12 to 3 p.m. on a Saturday. And you can obviously tell some of the kids that were just like, I'm good. I'm just, yeah. I'm here. Yeah. I'm here. Like, I made it. Don't expect me to do anything else. But seeing Caleb on that stage, just his confidence, and I said it, I was like, I don't think I've ever laughed and cried so much at the same freaking time ever in my life. It was just like, again, like that pride. Like I was very proud of him. And of course, I know he was very proud of himself. And just again, like the confidence that he has. And it's just like, again, like I know obviously we're releasing this, so let me not even go there. But the importance of like being that consistency and doing these things. Because, some like even when I take them to these Saturday classes or all these extracurricular activities, it's just like, fuck, I'm tired. Like, I just rather be home. Or do I really have to get up today? Like, I just want to lay in bed. But I'm like, let me just go. Let me just go. And me seeing that little boy on that stage, it was a reminder to continue doing all those things with him or for him. Because I was like, something's freaking working. I don't know if like whatever skills he already brought into that school system, and then whatever they're teaching him, like everything, a combination of it all, like I guess like that's what I saw on that stage that day. Yeah. I was just like, kind of like again like that end result. Like we've been shooting in the gym, we've been working, and boom. Other than that, my dad this year got to dress up as Santa, for his job. So that was really cute. So a lot of like the residents that live there were able to come down and take a picture with him, and then he invited us to go. And that same weekend, my cousin-in-law was visiting. Well, two of them were visiting from out of town, so it was nice. Got to spend some time with them. We checked out Frosties in the city, which I didn't really like know about. Again, I feel like there's so many now. Popular Christmas decorated bars in New York City, or maybe it could just be like we're just bombarded with all of them through social media because I wasn't aware. I knew, of course, of like Ross and a couple of other ones, but I feel like there's so many. But this place, it was definitely expensive to get into. So shout out to Cindy. She treated me to that ticket because I was like, what the hell does this ticket include? It was $50 per person just to get in, and they give you a necklace like that you can that maybe costs like $2 or $3. I don't know. And I was like, this is it. Like, it doesn't even include one drink. They were like, nope. And then we had some drinks. We sat down, but I can see the rationality of the price of that ticket because you're going in there, and they went all in with the decoration. Yeah, so it's like you're paying like it's like a museum entrance, and then obviously you have all these photo opportunities. I think I've seen some people actually that went there to like do like music videos and stuff like that. I guess you have to like rent out the space to yourself at that point. But it was I think I want to say it was at least 3 floors of thing. But at one point, and I'm like I was like I've been like getting knock on wood as far as like not getting sick. But what I was literally having the only anxiety, like when I walked in, I was like, it's fucking hot in here. I was like, there's no windows, there's so many people, and I was just like, please don't let me get sick. And it was like it was the middle of December. I was like, there's still so much more to do. Oh, and this year, I feel like I have mass freaking shit to talk about for December.
Yeah, it's usually how it is.
No, because it was also like my first holiday party for work, and even I think for the company itself since the pandemic. Then there was like a holiday work luncheon, which they were very generous as far as like the gifts that they gave out. The games were fun. The food was really good. So I was very, very impressed, and it was nice. And that was my experience, my first time back, like in the workforce, and being with a company that does that. Because I know there's a lot of companies that don't do anything, So I have definitely a lot to be grateful for. But I'm trying to think like what else. Oh, baked cookies. Literally made that freaking dough from scratch for the first time ever. So that was another thing too I was nervous about. And it's funny because I miscalculated the calculation of a stick of butter. I think normally I could have sworn that was a cup. I think that's half a cup. So I'd only put one stick. And I was like, why does this dough look like this? I was like, fuck. And then when I went to reread the recipe, I needed 2 sticks of butter. So then that's why I was able to kind of like finagled it. And, you're supposed to add the butter really early on. But the shit in there last minute still made it work. Thank God. And then after like you let it sit in the fridge at least for like 3 hours. But it was really nice. And I think we created a new tradition, like with Caleb and my sister, and even my dad participated. And we also made like pizzas. We bought like the dough that already comes prepared from ShopRite. And then my sister was like, "Oh, let's make them Christmas shape." I was like, "I'm making my shit round. Like it's an ornament."
Yeah, there you go.
It's a freaking ornament. But yeah, it was a really nice time. But again, the reality, like you said, like knowing like what's going on, and the fact that a lot of people, even before everything that's going on this year, like you have to remember, a lot of people don't have these luxuries. It's freaking a luxury. Even like one thing, even like going out to eat to a restaurant. I remember Kelvin said, I forgot what we were talking about, and I was like, it's not a necessity. You could there's food at home.
Yeah,
But it's definitely a luxury. So it was just, for me, everything that's going on and beyond, again, is that reminder to like be more in the moment, because again, you don't know if that could be the last moment. Morbid Cindy, here we go. But yeah, and then Christmas was chill. I was at my mom's house. It was nice because my in-laws were here, so it was nice for Caleb to have both sets of his grandparents. And then we did the same thing for New Year's. We did the Polar Express
Yes.
without our gang.
I was sick. So yeah, I literally could not move. So there's that. But it's okay. It's okay.
You survived.
Yes.
Because I know that
Barely.
I can only imagine. Not that I know. I was like, I can only imagine how freaking painful. Like everything.
I was actually thinking of Kelvin. I was like, oh my god, do you remember when he couldn't like walk around?
And that was this. That was around this time last year.
And I'm like, that's literally like, I'm sure he would understand. Like, oh no, that's
no. When you were saying that, I was just like, I don't know what that pain is, but
yeah.
I saw the excruciating pain that he was in. So I was picturing you.
Yeah.
In that pain.
Like when I went to the bookstore, I legit like. I just looked at Amy and Myra and I was like, we need to leave now. I'm like, my back hurts. I can't even like they were calling me and I was like, yeah, like this. God. Like I had to like move my entire body over. And it's like when I went to the chiropractor and the girl was doing the massage, she was like, I feel so bad. She's like, it's like you have ropes in your back. Like, and she was like pressing the knots. And I was like, keep going. I want to take you home with me. So yeah, I went this morning.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
What did they say?
She was like, it's getting better, but it's still like super tight. Like the top is just super tight.
And you're doing it twice a week?
Yeah.
Do they want to up it to more times?
I'm like, honestly, I can only do twice a week. Like that's already enough for me to get here. Like, cause with work and everything. Right, so I'm like, but they'll do the little thingies that like vibrate on my back and like the little heating pad.
They're really good. Yeah, they have like all.
Yeah, and then the girl comes and she gives me like today she was in for like 25 minutes giving me a massage. She like went in. And then he like adjusted my hips and everything. And I told him, I was like, I just want to be cracked like a glow stick. I was like, just like, please. And he starts cracking up. It's okay. It just says, it just says it's the battery. You're fine. It's recording.
We're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it. I gotta make it. Sorry, guys. We're back. We are back.
Does it pause it?
Yeah, I muted it. So I just had to unmute it.
Well, we're living and we're learning.
We're learning.
Bear with us.
Bear with us. Bear.
Bear with us, Dare.
Oh God, what is happening?
It's like that time of day.
Jeez.
But and I know so New Year's you were just I feel like honestly though it was just I just going around. I mean obviously besides the back issues, I know.
Yeah, like I had a cold.
I feel like everyone.
Yeah. Ali and Alina were like coughing. Zoe was okay. She started getting like a little bit warm and stuff, but I like made sure she had everything she needed. And I was like, oh my God, please don't get sick. Please don't get sick, Zoe. Like, especially as a baby, I'm like, oh,
no, yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, but I'm like, thank God we got what we needed to get done, but we're coming around. Like, Alberto was just sick. So he was just sick. And I'm like, great.
Well, that's what I feel like with everything. It makes a way. Gotta go through the entire household before it gets the F out of your freaking the front door.
But yeah, I mean, we just going through the motions. Just this season was not great. These past we're on day 90 now of everything going on. So I just can't. I feel guilty doing anything, being happy and stuff when so many people are just not.
No, and my thing too is just like the more you learn of like the whys.
Yeah. It's not making sense to me.
It's honestly it's like you can see the true ugliness and greed of the world or the entitlement. It's just, and I'm sure because we talked about it too towards the end of the season because that's when obviously everything started or became.
Yeah. I mean, it started something years ago.
Right, became mainstream. I would say mainstream, not even on the fucking media, on social media. And thank God. And that's what I said, the power of social media. Unfortunately, the stuff that we're seeing, but it's just like I remember saying, like, and I remember even talking to my therapist about it. I was like, I can't look away, and I'm not gonna look away.
Yeah.
I'm not. I was like, and of course, some of these images are very traumatic, but I'm like, this is the reality of these people, you
This
know,
is what they're living
and
every
it could be anyone's reality, and that's the thing that people are like, oh, that would never happen here, yada yada. You just never know. And again, the way, like, all the politics behind it is fucking scary.
Yeah.
The involvements of people, countries, is scary. So and that's what I remember, like the entire all of my sessions of October and November
were this.
Just talking about that. And then what's crazy too is obviously I go through my therapy is done through the veterans administration. So all the other people that my therapist sees are also veterans like myself. And it was also comforting for her to tell me that I'm not the only veteran feeling this way. So I'm like, okay, that's really good to know, because again, you know, you come from this government training background and it's just like everything is not what it seems to be, or everything is not what you thought it would be. And that's I feel like the importance of being able to, okay, like you were raised a certain way or you got the certain training, like for instance, like even in the military you get brainwashed, like they say, you know, they break you down to build you, to mold you into what they want you to be. But if you're not able to separate from that mindset, it's dangerous, you know. Or even if you were raised a certain way and that's all you know, and then you go on to the world and you realize, oh, this is not the world that I was taught at home. But if then you're able to have an open mind to be like, okay, let me unlearn things and relearn the right thing, or the right way, or whatever. And you know, we can go on and on about this shit, even like with the school systems, the stuff that is what they choose to teach. You know, it's insane. And then we even spoke about this, so like the different types of school that there are between like public school, private school, these elite schools, and the education is not the same all across.
No, it's
all
not.
across the board.
Yeah.
And then it just makes you, you know, start thinking even deeper of like the systems that are put in place to keep people where they're at. You know, but again, if you have it's I would say like the knowledge, because I mean before knowledge, like what do you have to have? You have to have, well, like an open brain, or like an accepting heart to be able to. A sponge. Yeah, there you go, man. I feel like we stop being sponges because they're like, oh, kids are like sponges. Kids are like, I'm like, we could be sponges too. We could all be freaking SpongeBob.
SpongeBob and Patrick.
Right? No, but it's so true. And I'm also seeing the shift for the better, although it had all this nasty shit had to unfold, of people speaking up.
Yeah.
And that to me, I'm like, this is beautiful to see in the middle of all this fucking crazy ass chaos, the awakening.
And people actually not caring about like
their families, like being shunned, even being killed.
Or like, but I'm saying like even like people who are like, for example, like Bella Hadid, like she is top of her game in the modeling industry, and then she was just kind of like, no, but these are my people. She's like, I don't care if I lose contracts. I don't care. And then even what's her name? Jenny Ortega. I
don't think that movie's even. Yeah, I don't think that movie's even happened. But before her, right?
Yeah, that's why she came out and said something. Right. She's like, "Are you kidding?" And this girl, I think this girl's Mexican, and she's like, "No, I'm not going to stay shut." And I've gone on her page, and she continues to post. Continues to. Dua Lipa. She's Muslim, so
yeah,
she's our Albanian. And I've actually been listening to her music, so now that's a little because I've always loved Dua Lipa.
Yeah, I like it.
But Alina has been really into Houdini and the Barbie song, and she sings the whole thing. It's so funny, and she does the dance and everything. And I'm like, girl, you go off. And then I started listening to her music, and I was like, I actually like all of her jams. They're really good. So that little bit of like beepity pop that I need, you know, for the day. But yeah, now that we're getting into the new year, you know, this is the time that we're reflecting on how far we've come and kind of just where we want to go, you know. What are some of your resolutions?
I don't think I feel like I stopped making resolutions a long time ago. What I do, like you said, like the reflecting of the year back,
Mm.
and I've been doing this already for a few years, is my mental growth,
Mm.
my mindset, how when I see something, how I used to react to it, and now how I react to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes even just with like being like judgmental or instantly judgmental, seeing something on again online or something like that, again, judging without knowing, and even if you think you know, you still don't know. So for instance, for me this past year, I feel like mentally a lot happened, but I was able to overcome them a lot quicker than I normally could any other time.
Mm.
Sometimes I will literally let my mental health take a full front seat and be the freaking driver and control my life. Where now I'm like, nah, I know you're still there, but you can take the freaking sit in the back. I got the wheel. Jesus got the wheel. And that's another thing too this year that I definitely went back, or not, I shouldn't say went back, but put more importance on my faith.
Mm.
And it started actually, I remember telling you like this around this time last year, those podcasts and those influencers that just, again, God put on my social media feed for me to follow and listen to. So that was very helpful. And then also helped me, remove and not follow or like mute or whatever content that I didn't want to see. So I think that was also very helpful to my mental health. So that is one of my biggest things that I'm gonna bring into this new year, is continuing that and continuing to pray more, especially with Caleb and the fact that he is in a religious school now. That also helps me. It's a nice reminder, even as simply as him saying, instead of saying, bless you, he says, God bless you. So now I'm even like, instead of cutting off, because I'm cutting off God, when I just say bless you, I'm like, God bless you. It's just like those little, again, shift of direction with those things go a long way, and they have gone a long way. Like I said, even that really bad day that I had in December, I really had to sit there. Mind you, I even like shut my phone off. My phone was off for like, I literally turned it off, or not. I let it die. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I let the battery die, and then I did lay down for a while, and then
I can't. Sorry, guys. I literally cannot.
We need to definitely figure something out where.
No, it's good. It's good.
Where
Sorry.
no, I'm saying like with the.
I did. I put it on Do Not Disturb, but.
Or maybe that it doesn't come on here.
Yeah, I'll just remove that. But
so yeah, I just think that's something that I'm going to 100% continue to be more aware of. And honestly, too, like I said, that women's retreat was really helpful and pivotal. The word that I love when you use. Did I say that?
Yes.
I love when you use that word.
Yes.
Because again, that's something that we constantly, is a common theme here at the Migas family, is the mindset shift, and it like just talking about it, like, oh yeah, what is it? But when you're actually like in something, like I said, like how I was feeling that day, and then mind you, like Caleb is there with me too, and I'm just like looking at him, and I'm like, I have like, this is like my why, like your reasons. You start to remember, like, and then I literally like the self talk. I'm like, who are you? What do you like? What makes you happy? This and that, like all those things. Where before I would just let the darkness completely take over, and literally cripple me for days. This maybe happened for maybe 12 hours. I don't know. I can't put a thing on it. And then even I remember the next day I was just like, I remember waking up and I'm like, oh, I think I'm just gonna lay here in bed again today. And then I was like, nope. I literally got up. I was like, I'm going to make breakfast. It was Christmas Eve at this point. And I was like, if I don't get up from this bed, it's going to throw off the entire mood for my family.
Yeah.
I was like, Caleb is innocent to this. Why am I, put like why am I gonna act like this for him? And especially his excitement, I was like, he needs to eat. So I was like, let me just freaking get up. Obviously, like Calvin was there too, but I was just like, I already had all these meals planned in my head that I was actually gonna do that Saturday. So I was like, okay, today's a new day. I'll just do it today.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do it yesterday, and I didn't sit there and also beat myself up over it. You know, and I also like I had friends that were supposed to come over, and that morning, like around the same time that I sent you a text, I was like, cancel, got boom, shut my phone off, and that was it.
Yeah.
But then the next morning, I woke up, I was like, nope, not today.
Yeah.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today, Satan. 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 You know, so yeah. What, like, I guess your reflections, I'm not even going to ask fuck resolution. Reflections, and then what direction do you see yourself going this year personally? And then we'll collectively talk about the podcast goals.
Yeah. Honestly, last year, 2023 came in with hands.
Like a wrecking ball.
Dude, like, I was just like, what the actual?
Walk us through, like, the,
what?
Like,
Okay.
January.
Okay, January. February.
Oh, did I skip February?
Yeah. So, I get back to work after having Zoe end of December.
Okay. I don't know why I thought it was January, but
no, but it was pretty much because they messed up. I was supposed to have like 2 more weeks or something, but I was like, you know what? I'm remote anyway. Who cares? And then it's fine. I go back, and then January's super slow. If you work in corporate, you just kind of know, like, everybody's just like, oh, we're gonna circle back, blah blah blah. And then February 6th, I get a very cryptic 15-minute message meeting on my calendar with the head of the department, who I never talked to. I'm like, who is this? Okay.
Was that on a Friday, February 6th? I feel like
I forgot.
I'm about to look.
And I'm like, okay. And they pretty much was just kind of, they were like, there's a reorg and you didn't make the cut, and we're going to, your role has been eliminated. And I'm like, how?
Wait, that was a fucking Monday, though.
Yeah.
Audacity.
Yeah.
Because usually,
yeah,
typical situation like this, most empathetic, sympathetic
they're
companies
definitely not.
wait till Friday.
Yeah.
And they'll let you either, it's more to like Friday morning. They'll pay you for the day, but
so I was like, okay. And I mean, I'm on pins and needles. Like, I feel like crap. And then it's crazy because all the other people in my group, like, I wasn't the newest one. Like, I think they hired like 5 or 6 other people after me.
So like it didn't.
Yeah, and I was with the company for 10 years. So
logic, like,
yeah.
there was no logical,
nothing.
Logic to it.
So I had just come back from maternity leave, got laid off. They gave me until April to look for an internal role, and I was just posting. Got on a few interviews, but it just, it wasn't meant to be. I decided to take the time. Then I exited the company. I waited till the last. And the thing is, they shut you out of everything, so I couldn't even do my job. Like, they shut me out of every single thing, and I'm like, then do I just collect a paycheck? Like, okay, like, but that's just not how I'm built. Like,
right.
I sit there and I actually want to work. Like,
right.
I'm like, okay, whatever. 3 days after my birthday, so on April 6th was my last day, and it was actually my 10-year anniversary. And then they had the audacity to send me a yearbook. Thank you so much for all. I'm like, go fuck yourselves. Are you joking?
I wasn't even here after you because you were on maternity.
I'm like, are you joking? But whatever. So they sent me like 10 years of your service, and I'm like, whatever. Like,
oh, that's what the
yearbook is. I threw that shit in the garbage. I was like, fuck you and fuck this place. So then I took time to really just kind of embrace the stay-at-home mom life. I collected. I've never collected in my life, so I'm like, all right, well, I could do that now. So whatever. I was
you earned it.
Yeah, so I was very involved in all the things with the kids' school, and just with their doctor's appointments, making sure every single specialist we were able to see.
You became like baseball mom.
Yeah, team mom, and I loved it. So it's great. So hopefully this year I could do it again. And then I got a job somewhere else, which was the most eye-opening experience of my life. I was just kind of like, how are people, like, these are the people that are in power. Like, these are the people that are coming home with these massive ass checks, and they're just wow.
Miserable.
Like, I was spoken to in a way that I can't even begin to tell you. It was just wow. Like, I got cursed at my second or third week there because the printers went down.
Adult tantrums.
Yeah, like it was just it was freaking wild. So adult tantrums, absolute chaos, just nonsense. It was the worst. It was the absolute worst. And then as I was there, I was just trying to make it work. I was just trying to make it work.
And you did. You
Commuting into the city 5 days a week, leaving the house at 6:30 in the morning to get on the bus by 6:50 and not getting home till like 6:30, 7 p.m. So I was out of the house a lot.
That was like 12 hours.
Yeah, it was miserable. But you know, I tried to do my best. I did what I could. I really brought my best foot forward and just tried.
But the good thing also you got out of that commute was
I read 19 books in 3 months.
You're just like
seriously, like it was so funny because my commute was just so brutal. So like on the subway, and like I was that annoying person like walking through Port Authority because it became like second nature of like where to go, and I was like walking super fast. I was literally with a book or my kids on. I was just walking and reading, and I'd get on the subway.
That's so New York.
Yeah,
too.
I'd get on the subway and I'm like, get off the stop, go upstairs, wait online, get on the bus, and it was just non-stop. And I read pretty fast, so I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, in 3 months, I started the book club in October, and 19 books in for the year. I was like, dude. So my goal is 36 books this year because I'm like, oh, I could do 3 books a month, and depending on how meaty these books are, like, you know. But if I go over them, like I saw one of my girls, love you, Jen, but you're crazy. She's like, I'm going for 100 books, and I was like, you have a job. Like, what? But I don't know, man. I don't know. If she could do it, like, listen, if she could do it, I'm gonna be like, girl, you are my hero.
We need to bring her on when she gets her 100.
So I'm gonna call you out, Jen.
Yeah, we need to know the logistics and the time management behind this, and still do everything else in your life.
Exactly. But then so while I was there, I was looking outside of the company because I was like, I cannot stay here. Like, this is nuts. Like, I just can't do this. So this company, actually, I found it on LinkedIn of all the places. I'm like, okay. I went in for my first interview, and they actually were just kind of like, hey, like, you know, we gave this position to somebody else. We thought you were too overqualified. And I'm like, great. And then all of a sudden this role comes up because the person I replaced got moved up somewhere else. So I'm like, oh my God, when God works, God works. So yeah, this 2023 came with some crazy ass stuff, but I'm somewhere where I'm comfortable. I do like it. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, I know it's so bad. I'm just waiting for something to be like, okay, this place is shit. And I'm like, what? Like, you know, because now I go back to hybrid mode. I mean, I was remote before, but I actually like going to the office and conversating with people and
conversing.
You know, conversing. I said conversating last time. You almost had my fucking head.
No, because that's one word that I learned. Like, I feel like growing up in the city, you know, you have your own slang or whatever. So I always thought that was a word.
Yeah.
And I forgot who corrected me. And they did it very, you know, it was very polite and gentle. And I was like, oh my God, what? Yeah. And like, it was just like mind blowing. And then going back to being open to receiving new information and accepting the truth.
Yeah. So
I learned it. So now every time I hear it, I'm like, I wanna help you out. Like someone.
You're gonna tell me it's all. And the shame is, I was an English major, so you would think, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So when I first heard you say that, I was like, what did she just say? Because again, those are things that I would say.
But yeah, so
very proud of you.
Thank you. Like I did
because you earned your worth.
Yes, and this year I did learn how resilient I am. I could have literally sat there and sobbed, which I did. I did cry. I cried a lot. I actually have video of me crying because I'm like, I'm gonna document this because this was just so heartbreaking. Like, it was a 10-year relationship, and just to get kicked to the curb, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, but I will say that I thrived in my stay-at-home momhood because I was like, damn, I could do this. But then when no money was coming in, I was like, no, I cannot do this. Like, no.
You gotta balance out.
Yeah, no. But what I'm doing now, I do enjoy it. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy how like the people I work with so far, and just bringing this set of skills that I have, coming from very like demanding. It's so funny because when I tell them like all the things that I was doing, they were like, "Yeah, no, we don't do any of that here." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, when I book your flights, like, I need to book your hotel, your car service, like, what restaurant are you going to? I pin the menu, like, I do all of it. So like, you literally just show up."
Right.
And they're like, "No, we just kind of wing it." And I'm like, "What does that even mean?"
Yeah. And then I'm sure you were like cringing inside.
I-
Like, but I want to do it.
I was literally like, "What?" And they're like, I was like, "No, no, 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 no." So like, one of my people is actually going to India, and I booked everything for him, and I made sure he had the right seats, and I did everything. And then he's like, "Thank you so much." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Do you know your car service? Where are you staying?" He's like, "Did you do it?" So I sent him all the stuff, and I was like, "What room?" And he's like, "Oh, they said that they'll give me the room when I get there." And I'm like, "What? What?"
That sounds very unstable
Yeah,
for
and I'm
especially
like,
traveling that far.
I was like, "Okay." I put all the meetings like on his calendar. I'm like, "You need to figure out how you're gonna sleep because it's 8 a.m. over here."
all the
but-
time difference.
like over there, but over here it's 12 a.m. the previous day. Like you're going in the future. Like, you know. But I've already been like stalking all the people in the back end, like, what's the car service they're using? Like, does the chauffeur have a WhatsApp? Like, how are we gonna get them to communicate? Like, I need to know all of these things. Like, if you lose my person, I'm going to lose my shit. Like, you know. So that's what I do now. And then like, I mean, we'll see where this career goes. But that's my goal. My goals for this year will be to
write it down. Well, I was
no,
like, well,
no,
this it's written down here.
yeah. I mean,
was like,
I write
so we
I
can
write my stuff down.
hold ourselves accountable.
My main thing, like on a personal level, to be 100%. We've talked about this, and we're keeping each other accountable. Is I want this year to completely remove all of my personal credit card debt.
I was gonna say, what's the update? How's that going?
It's going. Two cards paid off.
Nice.
Yeah,
Did you do your? Did you
I'll show
all
you.
your numbers?
I'll show you. And I
How did that
almost had a
feel?
fucking
Yeah.
heart attack.
Because that's the hardest stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys. I went ahead and I printed out my statements. Mind you, I was like, why do I have like 6 fucking accounts? I don't understand why I have 6. What is happening here?
Yeah, that would drive me insane.
I calculated all of the DoorDash and like going out to eat and stopping, and it was almost $1,000 in a month. I almost died. I wanted to literally pull my hair out because I'm like, most of this stuff tasted like shit.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not healthy shit for your body. So
exactly,
it's like you're spending money to hurt yourself.
Yeah, and then when I did the math on what I spend on groceries, I'm like, I spend a fraction on groceries, and the thing is, like, I'm too tired to cook or whatever. I'm like, no, what I need to do is like Fridays can be like our takeout day, and then one day like to go out. Like that's fine when it's a plan. So I literally made a spreadsheet of just like by the month, and then use your spreadsheet, and then I have like an actual physical thing, and I'm like, okay, now I just have to play like fucking Russian roulette. Like, which card am I gonna use first to pay off? Like, you know. So I did all the small balanced ones that I was like, I'm not gonna feel this. It's fine. I'm just gonna pay it off. I'm not gonna feel it. I'm not gonna feel it. And that's it.
And now, what are you doing with those cards that you pay off?
So I put them away, and I just monitor them every single month to make sure no surprise.
Right, because sometimes there's like
a fee or whatever.
Whatever.
Say for example, like one of the cards was a Carter's card and an Ulta card, because I love Ulta and I love Carter's for the kids. Yeah.
Those are always so that I always said no to, because I was like, this is dangerous.
Yeah, but they have like, you know, I always kept a small balance. So what I do is like, for example, I had to buy the kids all new clothes because they were just getting too big. So everything, I was like, this is my budget and this is what I have in cash. So I bought it on the Carter's card to get the points. And then once it hit my account, I paid it off. And I was like, I need to start instilling this mentality so that when I get to my other cards that I use for my everyday, like to pay, like for example, if I want to pay the light bills or whatever I can put on a credit card to get points, I'm already disciplined enough that at the end of the month, or like when I get paid, I pay off that entire card so that I can do what these rich people are doing.
Yeah,
like they're
that's
getting
what they
all
do.
the points. Yeah.
That's what they
Some
do.
guy bought, I think Alberto told me, it was like, put down like some crazy ass amount. He had like one of those cards that has like no limit, and bought a condo or something for like $1 million something dollars. Like
that's insane.
and got the points for it. but paid off the entire thing. I'm like, what? Are you
That's
nuts?
that's
Like,
that's a smart way to
but
take
that's how you
advantage
do it.
of the.
Yeah.
That's like that. You have you ever heard of that? I'm sure you have the. I think it's TPG. I think it's Total Points Guy.
No.
And now there's a Total Points mom,
Okay.
like, and they'll literally. But I had to unfollow them because I was like, I am not.
We're not in that space
I
right
am
now.
not
Yeah.
the right recipient
Yeah.
for this information right now because I'm like, oh, those rewards, cool. But then I'm like, I'm not paying it off.
Yeah.
That was my thing. Like that's my issue.
Yeah.
Just doing the minimal balance, and that was it.
So right now, I follow this woman. Her name is Kate Northorpe. I think that's the name. And I'm listening to her audiobook. And it's so funny because I got to the middle and I was like, no, I have to go back to the beginning. And I've literally been listening to her on a loop. She was on the Money Love podcast. And then I heard her, like, I was like, okay, she has her own podcast. Here's her book. I got it on the Audible because I had points. So
Love it.
she was pretty much saying what is her money love story. So she is very, very transparent of the fact that she came from wealth. She did. She came from wealth. Like both her parents are doctors. Like she came from wealth. Now she's saying her story as to like how she came from it, but her mom did struggle because like her parents split up or whatever. But she's like, what is your money love story? Like, what is your relationship with money? Like, how were you?
I think that was the one that you sent me, and I was like, I really did like it because it was a nice
it breaks down.
perspective.
Yeah. So she's like, how were you taught? Like, how were you brought up and everything? And I literally wrote, and I found her PDF like on her page, and it's like a 60-page PDF of just hefty stuff. So I'm going through all of that. And when I sat there and reflected, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, oh my God. Like it goes back. It's like, you know, when they say generational trauma, whatever, like it goes back to more like fear-based. So I'm just working on internal stuff. Like I literally already changed my therapist because I just feel like I wasn't getting the most from her. And somebody to really do the work inside. And I'm ready to get uncomfortable, and I'm ready to get uncomfortable with my finances and ready to get uncomfortable with who I am, because more days than the 365 days that we have, like I felt shitty and just not, I just didn't want to, you know, just didn't like myself for more of the days than not. So that's what we're doing, internal work this year, and then that'll work on the external. So, and saying no to a lot of things. I'm fucking tired. So I'm gonna do the Yelena.
We could maybe, once we obviously we may not ever truly master the skill, but once we gain some confidence in saying no to things, we can talk about that. That could definitely be a great episode where we can go through scenarios that we have been put in where you had to make that decision, and then we could say why did we have to say no and how we said no, because again, like I know you were raised as like a yes woman. Yes, I'll do it. And I feel like I was the same way for a very long time as well. But I forgot, honestly, like where it shifted for me. But I still feel like there's a lot of things that I'm like doing that I was like, I could have probably been doing something different with my time, you know. But I needed to go through those things to realize, okay, what is worth my time and what is not. And again, also too, refocusing my attention to on my immediate family, like my small family, you know, like my husband Caleb, and prioritizing them. Because that's the thing with me. I feel like an octopus in a sense, as far as everyone that needs my attention outside of Caleb and Kelvin. But I need to be more like think it through before saying yes to something, and like look at the time, what day of the week it is, what's going on around that time, what did I already say yes to something else that week, and balance that out. Because yes, I still and will always obviously enjoy spending quality time with my friends and my family, but I need to find that's one thing I guess I'm going to work on this year, is finding a balance. And again, it may take more than just this year, it may take a while. But again, I need to go through those things, and again, showing up to places, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm happy. I said yes to this. I'm happy I showed up.
Yeah.
Like this, I like this. This
Yeah.
is important to me.
Yeah.
And then other things like, okay, that wasn't so important. Next time something similar, then I'll know to say. Then I'll know to say no.
Yeah.
You know, but again, it's just like we gotta
start putting
in the work for that. But as far as
before we
for podcast,
but let's just touch on this because we're gonna have to wrap up soon. But our elf on the shelf.
Oh my god, we forgot about this.
You
know what's funny too? I was just like, I need to go and make a highlight. Like I want to make a highlight, just like I have something to look back on, or just create an album on my phone. But I also kind of just want to just leave it on the gram. But then I have to sit there because I know I posted some stuff on the Migas and then some stuff on mine. And it was our first year doing it.
It was our first year doing
both of us. It was our first time ever doing it.
Introduce your elf.
Caleb's elf's name is Present. And actually, when he went away, I guess I didn't know he was supposed to go away the 24th, mind you. And I'm seeing all these going away elf posts on the 24th, and I'm like, well, fuck. I guess he's gonna go away tomorrow on the 25th. So I just kind of threw him in the tree. But Caleb, I guess, was so, and I was like, he saw his elf there, like the little goodbye basket that he brought him. But he was just so paying attention to everything else, like all his other Christmas presents or whatever, that he, I guess, just didn't realize. I was like, okay, cool. I could put this away. It's not a big deal. And then during his Christmas break, he mostly spent like at my in-laws, so he was sleeping over there. But the first day that he sleeps over our house after Christmas, he's like, come on, we gotta go find Present. And I'm like, oh, but I told you he went back to the North Pole. He was like, no, he didn't. I'm like, sugar honey iced tea, how am I going to avoid a toddler shit show, a toddler tantrum right now? And I was just like, oh, okay, I guess let's go find them.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I guess I didn't sit there and like follow Caleb around like I was like with every other thing, like, you know, recording it, making sure that he found Present. And at one point, he just kind of like forgot about it. Like, oh, but I'm pretty sure there's still going to be random mornings. Yeah, especially like now, you know, sometimes like on Fridays, like he'll either sleep over like my parents' house or my in-laws. So it's just like I feel like when he wakes up and it's like I think he knows it's the fucking weekend. Yeah. Where's Present? It could be fucking April. I'm like, you better be looking for the Easter bunny.
Yeah, seriously.
So introduce us to yours.
So our elf, his name is Tommy, and
I think that was a very popular elf name this year. I love it.
So I did the whole thing, read the book, whatever. It was just nice to have the kids like be like, oh, okay, where is he? Where is he? But I'm not gonna fucking lie. When it got to I think like day 10, I just threw his ass on the tree. I was like, you do this, and then so here's my plan. This is gonna be my plan going forward because this is how I ended Tommy. I put his ass on the actual shelf because he is a fucking elf on the shelf. Okay, he's not an elf on a fucking island. Toilet. He's not an elf giving you Hershey's Kisses on the fucking toilet. He's not making you hot chocolate in the sink. He's not drawing on your kids' fucking faces. Like, we're not doing that. His ass is elf on the shelf. So he's on the shelf, and I literally changed his snacks every day. I was like, oh, Ollie finished this bag of goldfish. He's gonna have goldfish today. Oh, pirate booty. There you go.
Just go in your trash.
I literally, whatever wrapper, I just put his little hand in there, and I'm like, he's watching you. And I would move him when Ollie or Alina did something, and I'm like, oh, well, he had to go to the North Pole because you didn't want to help with this, or I said to do this, and you gave me an attitude about it, like, you know, those kind of things. But I bought him a little like door with like the present and all that stuff. So next year he's arriving on that shelf. His shelf is gonna be his house, and I'm just gonna do stuff on like little scenes on the shelf. That's it. I'm not going crazy. I'm not gonna lose my mind. I literally would forget. And he's like, presents. Tommy's still on the tree. And I'm like, I guess you didn't do anything yesterday. So, you know, that's why he's still on the tree. But
you should have said there was a lot of traffic to get to the North Pole. He was like,
but I was into it. Like, I was like, oh, I gotta monster trucks, made the little sleigh,
Yeah, I love all
and I
that,
was like,
but after a
nah,
while, yeah.
no, he is the elf on the motherfucking shelf, and he is gonna maybe like I don't know. And I was thinking, I was like, maybe I'll get 2 girls. Nope, Tommy's it.
I look because I remember I asked you, I was
Tommy's
like,
it.
how many elves did
One.
you get?
One, and his hiney is going to be on that shelf.
I love that.
And I'm gonna make the shelf look nice. I'll decorate it for him and
That's
everything,
really
and
cute.
that'll be the extent of how he gets there.
That's brilliant.
Because
that is
that's it.
brilliant. I was like, I don't have a freaking shelf like in my living room area, and you know my wall unit in the
Yeah.
family room has not been completed. Maybe that's a goal for a house goal.
Because I'm like,
2024.
nah, we're just doing it. Because you know how my shelves are.
No,
Like,
that's a
not
great
there.
idea because with us, the issue that we ran into because Calvin and I had all these ideas for to use Caleb's toys. You know,
Yeah.
he has like this big fire truck where he was like, oh, we could put the fire truck.
Yeah.
Like he's putting out a fire on the tree. The first day, I think that I don't know what fucking toy I used or whatever. This kid was like, why is he playing with my toys?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh. And he was like, I need it. Like, I need it. I want it. I want it. And I'm like, okay, but then that means like he's gonna fall or whatever. So then I had to get fucking creative because again, with all the toys, I'm like, oh, I'm good. I got
Yeah.
ideas for days. I could do everything on a whim. And most of this stuff was on a whim, but I did prepare like with little props
Yeah.
here and there just so I can kind of like have ideas of things to randomly put together. But literally go in the bag, I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do today?
Yeah.
And just this is what's happening. Or this is the little gift that he brought you today. But it was kind of
No,
upsetting.
his butt is gonna stay on the shelf.
It was upsetting for me not being able to do all these cool scenes
But here's
with the
the
toys.
thing. But see, that's the craziest part. I feel like the thought of it is it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be like,
Right.
oh, you know, behave, because then you'll go.
Yeah.
But like Pinterest and Instagram, like I'm sorry, but some of you moms are just nuts. Like, I'm sorry, I don't
No,
have
I'm
the
like-
fucking energy. Like if you have energy, bless you, bless
But,
you.
but that was my thing. I was like, oh, my creative juices are flowing with this. Like I was inspired every morning to do something, and I was actually like excited for it. And of course, it also being like the first year, and then especially like seeing all the stuff that my sister used to do in the past with the girls. I was like, oh yay, my turn. But again, the whole not being able to use like his toys, really, I was like, fuck this elf. And fuck you too.
Yeah, seriously.
But next year now I know to just, even though maybe next year he'll be a little bit more open or think it's funny that the elf is using his toys. But I was like, I'm not even probably gonna go there.
Yeah.
Unless like the elf brings him a new toy. I don't know.
One thing I will do, and one of our listeners, Kristen, I actually went to school with her. She sent it to me. So we have a few Christmas books. So I'm gonna wrap the books that we have and try to get to 25. And on the second shelf, that's where I'll put it. So every day we go get a book and we'll read it. And I'm not gonna go and try to like buy new books. Like whatever we have that's holiday themed, I'll use that.
That's smart.
And just like, you know, if I see them at the Dollar Tree or whatever, get a few like that. And then I'll wrap them in like a little advent calendar of just books. And then just, okay, Tommy said we have to read the book. And then he's going to report to Santa that we read the book and whatever. And we sit and we do like a little thing. And that's it.
I'm going to.
Like, that is what we're going to do. Because I want it to be memorable, but I'm not trying to stress myself out about it either.
And it's educational at the same time. Yeah.
I have 3 kids.
And
so
one book for all 3 is perfect.
Exactly. And it's just nonsense for me to have to, no. We're going to, and then once Zoe starts to understand Tommy, she's probably going to be like, why the fuck are you doing Tommy?
Then she's probably going to, you may have to go to second else.
She's going to be the one to be like,
wait, no. I don't think I've ever seen this any other year. You tell me if you got to see it, but some of these, like you said, with the parents and having like multiple the shit that I saw, I was like, no way. Because at first, I fully blown thought that this one girl was having like another baby. She already has, I think, like 3 or 4 kids. So I was like, oh my God, that's so exciting, yada, yada. It was a pregnancy announcement for the fucking...
No, bye.
But and then she went in, there was a gender reveal.
That's insane.
There's like an actual like baby elf.
That's people who just have money to spend. Good for you.
I don't even think it's like it's just like definitely obviously the extra money, but the time because like they did the whole box with the balloon.
Good for them. No,
and of course the kids went freaking crazy because the kids were a little bit. They're maybe, I think the youngest is maybe 5. I'm like, I feel like that's like kind of like a good age to get that creative or whatever. Maybe that the fact that you've been doing it for so many years, you start all these creative juices start flowing like or like. But when I saw that, I was just like, but it was the days of it too. Like
Nah.
like the elf took maybe like 3 or 4 days. There was an actual, you can buy like a fake like pregnancy test.
No.
Everything to the point that like her fans, her followers really thought that it was her.
Oh,
Like,
God.
and everybody was like so bummed
When
that
they
she
were like, that's the
that
elf.
it wasn't a pregnancy announcement. Because at first, I gotta show you it, because the first one, you're like, okay, like it's confusing. It throws
Yeah.
you off for sure. This is why reading is fundamental. Because I was like, I had to go on the caption. I was like, what is
What's
going
going on? Oh God.
So if you want to talk about extra or like
Extra.
going above and beyond,
Right.
putting in overtime.
No, thank you. Let's chat about where the season is gonna go. Fingers crossed, and then wrap up because we've been here for a minute.
I know.
We've been here for a minute.
I know.
It's
I was
over an
like,
hour.
have we?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, so-
Hi.
Hi.
Well, and mind you, we were like, oh, we could probably do this like
30
in
minutes. Who are we kidding?
Lying.
Okay,
Liars.
liars. So
Liar.
where do we see this go? I mean, you see us now.
I know, right? That's huge. And it's funny because it's like we forget that we're
That we're there, yeah.
We're
So
like,
we're like looking
oh,
at-
because this is normally what we would do when you
Yeah.
would normally hear us.
Yes.
This is exactly what it would be.
Mhm.
Or it would be like upstairs or virtually. And I think this will be able to do, we are going to do virtually as well. But our goal is to do as many together in person recordings. We have a couple of guests lined up for you guys. And you may see us like in the same outfit for like 2 or 3 videos, because that means that we're
batching our content.
batching it, and also being mindful of our time, because we had to, again, and this was talking about balancing time and having time to spend with our families, obviously to dedicate to our jobs, and to also the behind work that goes on with the podcast.
Mhm.
Because this is, you're seeing this here, but shout out to freaking Nora for like setting all of this up. Like we had like a pre-setting, but then she literally took it up to the next notch with, we have tables, you guys can't really see it here, but we have these mics hooked up, we got headphones,
Yes.
we got little
We're getting
mics
there.
we got a whole freaking disco pad. Did you get yourself one?
Yeah.
Okay, I was
I'm
about
not
to
stupid.
say. I was like, come on. So this
Imagine
is
it's
also
not my style.
because I know I could be a little loud with my style. So so I am super excited. I'm super excited for this and YouTube and the opportunities and doors that's also going to open for us. We are ready for the next level, as scary as it can be, and as tedious, and again, because even the whole setup of this, it's a production in itself, and it also helps you understand, like when you're watching these videos, like it may just seem like, oh, they just sat there, hit record, and that was it.
No, we did not.
No. It was like yeah. So it's funny because maybe we should do a video of the behind the scenes of what this looks like, so you guys see.
Let me clean up a little more. Then you can see it. But I have some new stuff that I'm putting over here.
Yeah, I'm excited for everything, and
good.
I'm about to. I told her, I was like, Fridays here, I'm gonna come work from home. I'm bringing like my extra screens and doing all that stuff, so then we can better manage our time and kind of knock out the recordings before the weekends, because weekends for the both of us, dedicating it to family, dedicating it to networking events. We also have the book club that we have to dedicate time slots for that as well. So I am excited. I'm excited because I'm just
excited.
It's just so proud of us too.
Season 4.
Freaking season 4. And I will always go back to last year around this time, that again, everything that was going on, and that was before you found out that you were getting
laid off. Yeah.
And then I was moving. I still wasn't working. So it was just kind of, but I was just like, yo, life is going to keep lifing.
Yeah.
And we just have to make time for this. And if things are important for you, you'll make the time.
That's right. And here we are. Making the time for you guys.
Where do you see, or what are your goals for this podcast, individually, collectively?
I do see it being a little easier for us to just, be able to bring this, especially our live action.
I know, because everybody was like, "Well, we want to see your mannerisms and all this stuff, and the faces," and I'm like, "Well, here you go."
Yeah,
and this, I'm not always gonna look like this. I'll tell you that. No. Like one day it's gonna be.
Yeah. Me too.
Roll out of bed.
Oh, same. You'll probably see me here with like a hoodie on, a hat, like this.
You know what I want to get? Those like and I had a pair, and I don't know where the frick I put them. The blue light glasses. I was like, maybe I could use that as a, but for your face frame though, not this.
Yeah, I got 3 pack of 3. They're great. They're big. I'm like, I love it.
All right, send the link.
Yes, I'll send it to you.
So I'll probably like be using that as an accessory.
I need to start
like
using
a hat. No, I'm saying about my looks here when like I don't have time to look like this. What to expect? Or if not, I may surprise you.
Yeah, but I'm seeing that, and then like our book club and our newsletter.
Yeah,
just that kind of be able to use my skills there that I like. So. And then you see where we end up going. We don't want to spill everything.
Right, we're not. That's why I said I was like,
just a little taste. No.
And our first
what
event.
Is it, Florida Vida?
No, yeah, I know. So yummy. So yummy.
Love her. So our first event is for Galentine's.
With the Migas.
So get your tickets. It is at Carpaccio's.
Yes. And tickets are due January 26th. Like we are closing out because we also want to keep it small enough and still like big enough like for it to feel and be intimate for conversations, because obviously we like to talk.
Yes, that's why we have a podcast.
And we want to talk to you guys, and we want you guys to also be able to have those individual conversations and topics and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for that event.
Me too.
Like it's actually our first Galentine's hosting it with the Migas.
Yes, because last year we did it with the cousins.
Yes, with the primas. Yeah. So this year we shifted, and we want to obviously share
with our amigas primas.
With our amigas family, primas, tías, tíos, primos. So looking forward to that. The location is absolutely beautiful. If you've never been, the food is amazing. So please come with an empty stomach, because it's gonna be a lot of food.
Yeah.
And definitely picture opportunity as well. But like Alex says, yes, a lot of these things people do it for the pictures and things, but there's also meats and potatoes behind all of our pictures. If you know, if you've been to any of our events, and we had so many amazing ones in 2023. Like we started off with that financial brunch. That one was so good, and that was our first event, right? So good, like the conversation around the table. So it's kind of like the same expectations that I at least had for Galentine's, like what I'm looking forward to, kind of like, because we'll be a table setting, and then obviously we had the Migas Fest last year, so expect another version of that coming soon. And I think at least for this season, I know we have stuff set up for other seasons, because there will be more. We did get approved to get to film another season. We got the funding,
right? Our own funding.
AKA our time. Our time is our funding.
Time is currency, guys. But yeah, we want to be more like out there. Just show face a lot. Show ourselves behind the mics and behind the camera and everything, and just kind of be there to meet you guys out in the wild and attend some of your events. So if you guys have any events that you have coming up, any pop-ups or anything like that, any empowerment events, summits, anything, just shoot us a DM.
Hit the DM. I'm looking at us and I'm like, we literally have the same pose.
Yeah.
I mean, you're more like this. Just like, wait, do a heart. Me.
All right, I think it's time for us to wrap up. But
I know.
All right, so thank you guys again for tuning in to our first episode of The
Migas, season 4.
Season 4 in
2024. And on the tube.
On the tube.
On the tube.
That sounds
we
like
made it.
That sounds like we're saying
Migas, we made it.
like the subway in England.
I know.
Tube.
I know. Migas, we made it.
Migas, we made it. Oh yeah. Well, have you guys
Have
yourselves
a merry little week.
A merry little week. And
a merry week.
A merry week and blessings in 2024.
Absolutely. We love you guys. Thank
Bye.
you so much. Los quiero, te amo.